Greetings, Patrick here. So, it is snowing like crazy outside, and yeah, I already been out there once to shovel, and it is crazy. And unlike before, we had the snow was actually sort of light. It's fluffy, but now it feels like moving mountains. And so went out there, shoveled it hard, and then that was like around 9 o'clock in the morning. And then I looked outside now, and it's like I can't even see where was. Um, they said we're supposed to get 2 to 4 inches of snow, um, but the last time they said something like that, we got like 5 or 6. So who's to say? I thought it was going to be too cold to snow, to tell you the truth. All right. So last night we were supposed to have a guest on, but we had severe technical problems that we did solve. We did solve it, and I was glad to see that we did. Um, we had our guest Christy Newton, and she will be back. We're going to reschedule. We rescheduled the show for next Tuesday, so that will be that'll be actually pretty cool. Like I said, we got to talk. She was very patient, and we figured it out, and glad that we did. And but we had a lot of fun too. You guys all came up and supported the show, even when we were just spinning our wheels. You guys came out and hung out with us. I do appreciate that more than you know. Um, So I'm changing the title of the video that we did yesterday, because obviously we didn't have the interview, um, but we will. We're going to, and that's what I'm here for. Um, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's like I was up last. The reason I'm really up today is something just amazing. I just don't get this at all. Um, we did a push video for our good friend Al Licard. He was at he's at 1892. And hey, Eric, how are you? That's right. No, that's right. We're gonna talk about that again too. We're gonna fix that injustice. So so last week I was up here doing a push video, and lo and behold, um helping Al out. He's at 1892. So we're on almost 3 hours. We got him 3 heads, or 6 heads. So he's at 1898 last week. I mean, I thought we pushed him right to the edge. So if someone walked by and that would, he would fall over into 1900. Easy. I go ahead and I'm waiting for waiting for him to post that, hey, I'm at that 1900. Now once you get to 1900, that last 100 to the big event, to 2000, that would come pretty quick. And I noticed that I hadn't seen any post from him, about hitting 1900. I was waiting. I thought he would celebrate with all of us, and I went over to his uh, uh, I like helping. I think it's a lot of fun, and we're gonna throw in a new hat in the ring too. Mr. Dan and Horror is only 31 away from 1,000, so he's gonna get some push love today as well. Not that far away. It's only 31 away from 1,000. I'm sure we can get him there. I'm sure we can get him there. At least halfway. I'm positive of that. Um, but with Al, it was crazy, Eric, because it was like, I know you and I are stuck. Oh, yeah, you and I are just, we're stuck. Well, you and I are stuck in the same thing. I don't know what it is with us, but we are in sub-frozen hell. Um, but I'm thinking that Al's in a little sub-frozen hell too, because he still has 1898, and I just I'm blown away by that. So we are going to get him his 1900. He is two away from it, and we need to push his ass over to 1900. Help our favorite bat out, for sure. Oh my God, no kidding. It's ridiculous. It's utter, it's completely ridiculous how we're frozen. Um, yeah, we don't, it moves up one, drops one. It's just like we're just in hell. We're purgatory. But um, but Al shouldn't be. Al shouldn't be. He comes up with some great content. Mr. Dan, he also comes up with some fantastic content. Um, and actually, Mr. Dan is an ally of Bigfoot. Uh, as some of you might have seen, couple about not this past summer, but the summer before that, Mr. Dan ran Hot Wheel races in his back of his yard, and that's where the big Bigfoot Yeti beef happened. But he is a Bigfoot fan. Um, so he's at 969 the last I looked at. So I'm thinking for sure we could kill two birds with one stone. We could get Al over 1900. I'm going to put both their links up here in the chat. Help. I'm going to throw their links up there in the chat. And so we can get him to 1900, and we can help get Mr. Dan to 1,000. Everybody knows that 1,000 is like, that's really the big number that everybody really wants. It's cool to hit 100. I won't lie. The first time, the one time I hit 100, I thought it was really cool. But when you pop 1,000, like you hit that 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, it's really exciting. It really is. You really feel justified in what you're doing, and in the time that you vested in doing this. You feel like it's and it's fun. It's absolutely fun. When you see your numbers grow, it becomes a lot of fun. I think a lot of people, when they get frozen, um, I think they do try they dwell on the numbers too much. Me and Eric have talked about this before. They dwell on the numbers too much. Um, but you know what? You just continue to pump out quality content. It will get found. Um, I just posted my review of Gamera and Gaius for Dollar Theater. Now, Dollar Theater, especially the last few ones, they have been not watched at all. Every single one of my Dollar Theater Volume 2 is really it's been no one's watching it. Um, uh, 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 it's a little frustrating, but I like to keep the variety going. I think that's part of it, is like I'm not just reviewing one type of movie. And that might be, Eric, you and I are both like that. Like one week you could be covering a horror movie like Halloween, and the next movie you're doing Spinal Tap. So the algorithm, despite being so freaking advanced, for some reason has a really hard time dealing with the fact that people like other things other just one. Well, if you're like a beauty channel, all you do is beauty. But you can't do food in it? You can't talk about your kid? You can't talk about your town? You just gotta talk about that one topic in order to gain a following? No, thanks. Hey, Tom, how are you, sir? Yeah, no doubt, right? So Tom says, For me, it's about the chat and people in the chat." And I gotta admit, I mean, the last couple of weeks here on 8 Questions With, man, it feels like the good old days. It really does. We had 10 to 20 people in here, and things were popping. Last couple of weeks, it feels really good seeing those numbers again. We're not up to 20 a chat, a live stream, but we're hitting 10 and 11 and 12, and it's like, wow, I haven't hit those numbers like that in a while. So it feels good to see it. Um, I was really happy when Marcus came back. He's been gone for a little while, and he came back. He's got a new pod on, and when he pops in talking about Scream, and lo and behold, there's like 45 people there for him. He has been missed, and super stoked to see that everybody supported him. Um, so yes, this is live right here. We are live. This is yeah, so I want to do this right now. I'm going to go ahead and drop Al's and Mr. Dan's um, links in the chat just so people can see it. Um, so give me 1 second here while I do that, and then we'll talk a little bit about yesterday. Let's see. Yeah, I just couldn't. I'm just looking at it now, and I'm just like, that's crazy talk. Uh, we were here last week. He said he was at 1892. We got him 6. I was really shocked at that, to tell you the truth. I was so happy. Um, I was so happy that we got him 6 because everybody that was in the chat for this, I would have thought that. Oh, and there's Mr. Dan right there. That's right, Mister. We're gonna go ahead and put you up here. We're gonna put Al up first, and then we're gonna go ahead and put Mr. Dan up here. Uh, let's kill two birds with one stone. Let's see. Uh, let's see. Let's go ahead and grab you now, Mr. Dan. Yeah, I went over to look at your. I went over. I was watching your Guns of the Magnificent Seven, and I noticed that you're at 969. So I said, hell, we need to go over there and push him, because this is going to sound really funny, but there's actually a better chance of Mr. Dan reaching 1,000 before Al reaches 1,900. I could, because for some reason YouTube does do that. When you do hit 900 subs, it seems like it does accelerate your subs. They want you to hit that 1,000. Yeah, it's the AI the AI is poison. Um, I won't deny that. I won't deny that. The AI, um, now it's just insufferable. Okay, so there we go. We'll go ahead and yeah, you seem to be stuck at 969. Wow, you shouldn't be stuck at all. You should actually be flying. But we'll go ahead and throw it up there and see what we can do. Definitely for sure. We'll see if we can get you to see if we can get you at least halfway there. I'm going to be here for a little while, so I'll go ahead and we'll give it a good run. Hopefully, we'll get some new faces coming in. Um, and that's what I was saying about posting different ideas and different topics. So I posted my review of Gamera versus Gaius in for Dollar Theater. Well, for some reason, YouTube decided that that was a good thing, and it sort of has I so far I've gotten a really good response to it. I even had a Japanese fan come over and leave a comment, which I think is my first one on my kaiju reviews. And he came over and he dropped a comment on the Gamma uh, video, which made me feel pretty damn good. So yeah, it's really weird how like they want you to just basically to cover just one genre and you can't do anything else. Um, you would think that they would reward creativity and really help you out with that, other than just talking about the same thing to death. Um, but what do we know? Um, oh, it's yeah, it's and yesterday, like I said, I want to thank everybody who came out yesterday. We had our guest Christy Newton. We had trouble with connecting. We did figure it out. We stayed with it after we went off the air, and then we came back on the air, and we got it to work. And yeah, it was a good time last night. I kept the second one. Um, I actually kept the first video I kept. The second one we did, I did get rid of it. No need for that. But I did get rid of it because I had my link to it as well. So yeah, they think you know what? It's really weird. I've did a Gamera. I've done three Gamera movies now. Um, w- Two have done pretty well. One didn't do that well, but two have done decently well. And I like doing kaiju films. Hey, there he is. The man of the hour is Jeff. I think he is going live today at 3 o'clock, which is probably about when we'll probably end up. Because I want to go over there and watch his premiere of The Great Silence. He's going to be unboxing that and talking about the film. The film was directed by Carbuli Carbion. He he directed the original Django. That's the first thing I saw when I saw the names. I went down there going like, isn't that the guy from that's the guy from Django? And I was like, oh shit, okay. So I didn't know that they had re-released The Great Silence, but I see a lot of spaghetti western fans have been doing unboxings. So we're gonna have Christy back on next Tuesday, the 22nd, at 8 o'clock. Um, Tomorrow night we have Mad Pondo rolling in, and now we'll be talking a bit about that. You guys really need to come out if you guys like wrestling. I know there's a lot of wrestling fans in the community. I really hope that you come on over and check out Madman Pondo. Eric, I got his name from Eric. Eric gave me the tip and the connect for the interview, and I appreciate it very much. Um, because he also gave me the other wrestler I got too, James Fury, which was also a terrific interview as well. But death matches, I'm so naive to it all that I'm just like I have like I'm 62 years old and I have a sense of wonderment. I'm wondering, I'm just like, how are you doing that? How are you? 'Cause, I don't know about you, but if someone's going to take a glass and hit it over my head, I'm going to do my damnedest to get out of the way. But these guys are like, yeah, is that all you got, you pansy? Oh, yeah, of course. Let's see. Jeff mentions he'll be dropping a short showing all 13 of Carbucci's spaghetti westerns to coincide with the release of The Great Silence. So, I mean, that was just a fun movie. Me and Al Lecard, as a matter of fact, me and Al Lecard, we covered uh, um, Django on our channel, on his channel. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had never seen it before, and I loved it. I thought it was great. Gareth, I can only unsubscribe from Al's channel so many times. Uh, oh shit. The battle is on. But hey, Gareth, do me a favor, my brother. Um, if I fail in this mission today, if I don't get Al his 2 or 3 that he needs, can you do me a favor and can you pick up the freight on your live stream on your watch party and push his channel out for me? I know you don't usually do that. I know people come up on your channel, but I don't know if he's on your channel today. Uh, but if whether he is or isn't, but can you push his channel hard? That would be really cool because you have a much bigger footprint than I do now. Um, yeah, Django. I really like Django. I thought that was a great movie. And what we're doing here too, there's other people in the community have been doing this recently as well. Marty from the Trash Picture Show, Jim from Jim's Movies, Jen from Beyond the Grave, um, the Reviews Beyond the Grave, and even our good friend Gory B. It seems like there's a new group of people. We've been here for a while, but they're now starting to push other channels out there. When I first joined the community, I noticed there was a lot of people doing that. We've sort of gotten away from it a little bit, but it's good to see that it's coming back. I like it. I like it a lot. I also noticed too that Horror Tuber of the Month has also returned, which I was not aware. I was not aware of that, but it has circled around. It's like a comet. It's like a comet that comes around every 75 years, and it's like Horror Tuber of the Month is like that. Some people are winning it, and next thing you know, the people that you don't know are nominated, and before you know it, you forget about Horror Tuber of the Month until it comes back into your orbit. Al was at 1998, is what he told me. Yes, yes, he'll owe you your soul, his soul. Yeah, he's been. See, I did this last week, Jeff. This is what's crazy about this. We were doing this last week. He had 1892. Um, so we did it, and we pushed him. And I'm going like, okay, we got him to 1898, and then him and I were talking on Facebook, and he told me, he says, "Yeah, I'm at 1898 last week." I thought for sure by now, today, a week later, he would have hit 1900 and gone beyond that. So I was really surprised when I peeked over and he's still stuck at 1890. It says 1890 on there, 89. But he's still stuck at 1898. Mr. Dana Hort also is at only 31 away from 1,000 as well. Me and Eric, we're just trying to get to 1750. He and I have been. I think I see us both as being in a rowboat, and we're rowing opposite directions. No one, we're not going anywhere. So hopefully that will help too. That's the thing about at least with my footprint, is a lot of the folks that come here I know. It's pretty rare when someone comes in here that I don't know, which is a good thing. That means my channel's getting out there to fresh faces. Um, there's really it's for security and for fun, it's great having a chat of people but there is something to be said about when you have a chat and there's all new faces coming in, because hopefully they will hit your channel, or they'll explore your content. So that's what I'm just trying to do. I'm just trying to get Al and Dan a small push. Hello, Cheryl. So we also are going to talk a little bit about, you see the Scream 7 in there, right? We're not talking Scream 7. But see, if I put that out there, people will probably come in expecting to talk about Scream 7. But we're not doing Scream 7. We're just throwing that up there just to get people to what's it called? Clickbaiting? Yeah, it's a little bit of a clickbait, but the real story is behind it. Um, and I'm surprised that Mr. Dan has not noticed that the title is actually it started with Mr. Dan actually. Um, it's with Bigfoot because, like I mentioned before, a couple not this past summer, but the summer before that, Mr. Dan was doing races, Hot Wheel races in his backyard. Um, they were very exciting, and I don't know what happened to this summer, but I know the summer before last it was action packed. Um, there were several really fun Hot Wheel races going on, and Bigfoot and Yeti were racing. Um, and then for some reason, I don't know, maybe Mr. Dan can explain, but for some reason, Bigfoot and the Yeti got into a squabble on pit row. And yeah, after that, it became all about Bigfoot versus Yeti. Um, we had, I had so much fun watching those videos. We all did. Um, so I'm going to share this story. I shared it yesterday, but I'm going to share this today as well. Now, especially now that Mr. Dan is here. Um, so on Sunday night, I went over to see that's right. Bigfoot will be back soon. So check this out, Mr. Dan. So I went over to a channel on Sunday night called Movies and Beyond, run by our good friend Michael, and he ran a horror icon battle. Which means that everybody in his chat got to nominate a horror icon villain, and they went on the wheel, they spin the wheel, and then they fight. You know, with our votes, we vote for the winner. Well, I got to the party late, but I still had a chance to throw in a bad guy, so I threw in Bigfoot. That was my choice. Um, so he made the wheel, and then they were doing the fights. You know, so we're running out of time. We're running out of time, and we have time for like one more spin. And up to that point, Bigfoot had not been picked. But lo and behold, they spun the wheel, and there's Bigfoot. Now, who's Bigfoot gonna fight? I don't know. You know, whoever's still on the wheel, you know, pretty tough. But you know, it's Bigfoot. So uh, they spun the wheel to see who Bigfoot would destroy, and it picked Dexter Morgan. Dexter Morgan. That's who Bigfoot was picked to fight. Now, if you scroll up on the chat here, you can see how some of us feel about that. Uh, so so the final fight was between Bigfoot and Dexter Morgan from the show Dexter. That should have been an easy wipeout for Bigfoot, but for some way, somehow, um, it didn't happen. Bigfoot supposedly lost to Dexter Morgan, and we're outraged by that. See, Jeff says here, I'm currently at the finale of The Magnificent Seven. Yes. Oh, the Bay Harbor. Well, he's not getting away from Bigfoot. Not only is he not getting away on Bigfoot by foot, he's not getting away on wheels either because you haven't seen the car that Bigfoot drives. Yeah, yeah, Bigfoot has his own Hot Wheel that he drives. Let's see. It says I'm currently at the finale of the Magnificent Seven ride. Pretty good so far, but then I do love me some Lee Van Cleef. Yep. Uh, yeah. See, that's exactly right, Mr. Dan. See, he couldn't get away. He couldn't outdrive Bigfoot because Bigfoot's got a kick-ass car, and he can't match up with him physically because it's Bigfoot. Uh, have you still are you still looking for The Magnificent Seven TV show, Jeff, did you ever find a copy of that? The Magnificent Seven TV show, did you ever find a copy of that? Um, that's the one with, Michael Biehn and, Ron Perlman. Man, that was a good show, good show. Of course, they are revamping and relaunching another version, a televised version of the Magnificent Seven. Um, Lady Val and I, we're already planning a bit of a comeback for Bigfoot. We got something up our sleeves that will be most entertaining. Um, Damn, that sucks. I thought for sure somebody would have posted that up there for sale over in Europe. I mean, it came out on CBS. It got released mass market. It's not a boutique thing. It's out there. I don't think it's in print. That I don't think, because I don't know how CBS does their physical media releases, like and Warner Brothers. You can order video on demand. So I'm not sure how Paramount does theirs. Man, that's terrible. That's right. That's right, Lady Val. We're bringing them in with Scream 7 talk, but once they get here, it's all about the Bigfoot. We're gonna have to get Gareth. I'm sure he's gone, but Gareth, if you're still here, we need to do a Bigfoot movie. That would be hilarious. And the thing is, I actually do have a couple of seasons of Dexter. So I've only seen the first episode of the show, which I think has a great concept. I mean, I like that concept. It's actually the same concept that it's one of my favorite werewolf movies. It's called Hunter Moon. The concept of the film is a family of werewolves hunt serial killers, much like Dexter Morgan does, um, which is a really cool concept. I mean, the vigilante style, only killing the evil, the worst and the worst. It's I guess that's the reason why everybody has finally found, everybody became big fans of the Punisher, because that's really what his character was. Even though he was drawn from a novel series called The Executioner, and then pretty much got the same backstory as Matt Bullen, um, and then and he's taken off ever since then. Yeah, I didn't know if you guys knew that or not. Well, Gareth might have known that maybe, but the character of the Punisher that's on the TV series, The Avengers, or what have you, the TV show, his background, Frank Castle's background, is pretty much the same as a character named Mac Bullen, who came out in a series of novels called The Executioner. And at first, it was Mac going across country, destroying various mafia families who had killed his family, and he went all over the place, and he just left carnage everywhere he went. Well, the storyline ran itself out, and so what they did was they made a deal with Mac Bullen to come do what you do, but do it for the government. And Mac Bullen said he'd do it, but he wanted 7 days before he joined, and then in the next 7 months, because they did about a book a month. Um, he went to seven different big mafia families and did as much damage as he possibly could. Then they faked his death, and then he came back as a good guy. Yeah, I have to get into that. You know, I got a few seasons from that. It's pretty easy to pick up at the library. I see Dexter a lot at the library. Um, that's like that's where I picked up most of my series from there. I think I picked up the first series at Family Video. They had it on sale there. Oh, Gareth is still here. Okay. Love me some Boggy Creek. All right, then let's get a Bigfoot movie going. I want to. Yeah, let's get Bigfoot popping. That would be actually would be. I have to see what I have in terms of that. I have to see if I actually have a week's worth of Bigfoot. Um, I don't want to give everything away here, but we got me and Val. We got something going on cooking. We're going to be dropping that pretty soon. Um, Hopefully in February. I want to do it in February, and then we definitely want a rematch on the wheel. That's for sure. Justice for Bigfoot. Harry and the Hendersons, yes. That's one. Um, Now Bigfoot's tricky because a lot of people confuse the abominable snowman for Bigfoot. The Yeti. The Yeti's not a Bigfoot. Um, and neither is the Wendigo. Bigfoot is of his own entity. I don't know how many. I have to actually go deep into that. I guess to see how many Bigfoot movies there have been. I think he's been portrayed more on television than he has in movies. And didn't they make that into a TV series too, Charles? Didn't Harry and the Hendersons become like a TV series, like syndicated? It seems to me I remember that, but I could be wrong. So what we're doing here is the same thing we did last week. We're here for Alucard. We're here for Mr. Dan and Horror. Um, I can't either. I'm gonna get us a date. I'm gonna get us a date. I'll talk to you about that. You tell me which day of the week is best for you, and then we're gonna make that happen. It's gonna be awesome. Um, okay, yeah, okay. I thought so, Charles. I thought there was a series, a syndicated series, but if it is, I haven't heard anybody talk about it in forever. Um, of course, anytime the Bigfoot is brought up on TV, the very first thing people always say is it's the $6 million man. Um, I think he did more. I think because back in the '70s, there the two creatures in the '70s that people talked about all over the place. In fact, they even put out documentary movies on this. Was Bigfoot and Nessie from the the Loch Ness monster. And I guess they had I read this last week that a guy who had been researching the Loch Ness monster for over 50 years. Um, Supposedly, he came out there and said that it was a hoax. It had to be a hoax. That there's no such thing as Nessie. Um, my thing is though is like I've never heard anybody doing I've never heard anybody going to the bottom of the lake and doing it like the Titanic. I've never heard anybody actually going down to the bottom of the lake and going, foot by foot, uh, explore it, because sooner or later you would find bones, because bones, I mean, they're not going to deteriorate in the cold water, right? They're just gonna freeze. Um, I think if there was anything for the Loch Ness monster, I think that you'd be able to find bones from her, because she supposedly has been spotted there for hundreds of years ago. It wasn't just like the 1970s. Oh, I saw a monster. So feasibly, she should still be alive. Um, she's been around for quite a while, and you would think by now that she had passed away without because who's she going to breed with? And her evidence of her being there would be on the bottom of the lakes of the lake. So let's see. So it's not much better over here to be fair. Gas prices and such are double of what they are in Belgium. Yeah, it's horrible over here now. Ooh, man, it's so awful. I think it's right. I think we're all climbing onto the I think a lot of us do the YouTube so we don't have to see what's going on out in the world. Um, but I was watching like we got snow again today here in my area, and we're at probably I don't know maybe like 5 or 6 inches total on the ground. But have you guys seen the video for Kamchatka over in Russia? I mentioned this yesterday before our show with Christy. I mentioned that the snow over there is unbelievable. I have never in all my life seen anything like this. Um, it's like 60 feet high. There was a guy that he got his filming him. His buddy was filming him. He was on an apartment window. He must have been like 7 or 8 stories high because there's an apartment across from him, so you could actually see how where he was. He got up to like 6 or 7 stories high. He jumped out the window into the snow. No problem, no fear. He wasn't gonna no, it's not. It's I know that's what everybody said it was. Everybody say this is AI, and it says no. It was actually from news sources. It was actually from news sources. It's completely nuts. It's record setting. That's the same thing I thought too, Mr. Dan. I saw that and I started laughing at it. But then you start seeing all the people out there just shoveling snow and like dealing with it, and it's just like, oh, this is happening. Yeah, you know what? I'll say this. I'll say that about the identification thing. You know what? I have no problem with carrying my identification with me. I don't understand why people don't do that. I mean, if you get hurt, if you get hit in a car accident, something happens to you, you know, you want someone to actually know who you are so they can reach out to the next of kin. If you're like a John Doe or a Jane Doe, I mean, or driving, if you get in a car accident and the other guy doesn't have an identification, I mean, it sort of sucks. I have no problem with that. But I do have a problem is when they ask for it for no probable cause. Can I see your ID? Well, why? Why do you need to see my ID for? Short of a traffic, short of an incident. If you come to my door and say, "Hey, can we talk to you?" Sure, no problem. Can I see your ID? No, you can't because you haven't given me any probable cause to do that. But these people that do the sovereign citizen thing, those guys are idiots. Those guys are idiots. So by their own rules, since they're supposed to be separated from the state, my problem is okay. If you get fucked up, um, I'm not calling an ambulance for you. I'm not doing any of that. Why should I? You're not a citizen. Uh, Creature from the Black Lake is another Bigfoot movie from the 70s. Yeah, yeah, the 70s were really strong for Bigfoot. They had of course, the $6 million man and the Bionic Woman. They had a lot of figurines. They had the documentary movie. Of course, on a lot of TV shows, they feature Bigfoot as well. I probably could type up a list of Bigfoot on TV. Um, I don't know if I don't know, have you have you ever run across to that, Jeff? Sovereign citizens? I'm traveling. I'm traveling. I'm not I don't have to obey your rules. I'm traveling. It's like, I don't care what country you're in, you still gotta obey the law of the land, especially when it comes down to driving. Yeah, these ICE agents that are doing that shit now, no, they have no reason to ask for people's ID. They have none at all. And I'm done calling them fucking ICE. They're fucking just the Gestapo. That's all they are. Same tactics. Same tactics. And this is what happens when we fail to teach history in our classrooms. When we try to alter our history or refuse to acknowledge it or let it just die out. This is sort of shit that happens. This is why this is happening because we didn't teach our kids we didn't teach our kids about it. No, I mean, like I said, I mean, there's what, like I said before, it's like if you have ID, it's good to carry your ID, Um, it's good to carry your ID when you leave your house, you going someplace, even if it's just right down the street to the corner market, yeah, take your freaking ID, well, I'll just take 20 bucks on my credit card and go down there. No, take your whole damn thing because you never know what's going to happen. um, have your information on your card too, when you renew it. Are you a blood donor? If you have if you have a blood condition, you have a medical condition, you want to be able to have that in your ID. Person's allergic to penicillin, that sort of thing. Yeah. You just type in, you just look in YouTube, and there's so many times where especially to me, and the thing is though, the cops are now conditioned to know that you're up to shenanigans is when you don't have your ID. If you look at all the crime videos on here, that's the one thing they have in common more than anything else is they never carry IDs. If they shoplift, if they steal a car, they do burglary, the cops are always coming through and say, "Let me see your ID," because they want to see who you are. And dozens to donuts, nobody has an ID. Nobody carries an ID. They think if they don't have an ID, they're not going to get discovered. Yeah, it truly is, Tom. It truly is. It is a $75 billion pay, open check. 22 to 23,000 Gestapo agents. Yeah, and we're paying for it too. That's the funny thing about it is we're all paying for this. Everything that we're seeing with ICE, it's out of our pockets. And the Republicans love to cry about having small government. They pride themselves on, the government shouldn't do this, the government shouldn't be involved, the government, and here we are, right? They're in your business, definitely. And this thing with Greenland is absolutely insane. It's like honest to God, watching Greenland. It's watching Stalin and Hitler again. That's what they did with Poland. That's exactly what they did with Poland. It's a squeeze. It's a squeeze. It's exactly what it is. And NATO's in the center of it. I don't know what Trump's thinking. It's funny. He actually thinks that they're going to give it to him. Well, you see that I mean, we're already seeing now. We're starting to even see more strains with Canada. Canada's starting to, like, a lot of the business deals that they're working with. They've embargoed several of our items. Now they're starting to look to do business with China, taking away billions of dollars in revenue. We had trade with Canada. Now that's being threatened. Um, I don't think Trump's insane if he actually really thinks that NATO's going to just stand there and let him take Greenland without a fight. Denmark will fight, and that will trigger NATO because it's a threat on NATO. But I tell you the whole thing about the secret about any war with the U.S. It's going to be a short war because all it would take was just a sinking of a carrier, and then we'll stop. I've always said that. I always said, boy, if you want to stop the United States, sink a carrier, sink one, and that'll be the end of it. That'll be 5,000 men and women dead, and yet that'll be the end of any war. But I don't know what the Trump was thinking about it, pushing that. I have to see the Great Silence. I've never seen that before, so I guess I'll have to start looking for it. Maybe it's on Hamilton Book. Of course, it's not going to be nearly as nice as what Carlos and Jeff got. That's for sure. Those are really nice. No, no, no. I have never walked away from that, Tom. If you have a right to express yourself, and I know a lot of chats will they'll sit there and say that, let's no politics, but I've never been one for that. I've never been one for that. If you have something that you wanted to say, free to get it off your chest, you're more than do that here on my channel. Because it's just too important now. You can't. It's really weird watching this country act like nothing's happening on the surface. We're playing for a national football championship, or with Super Bowls coming up. We all think that things are normal, and it's like it's not normal. Um, you know, it hasn't been normal here in America for damn near 30 years now. Um, so like we'll just act like nothing's happening. The ostrich syndrome. Putting the head in the ground. If I do that, then um, I will send you my Facebook. Uh, it is Patrick Michael. Where's my Facebook? Oh my God, my mouse is giving up on me, I think. And of course, now that there's snow, it is Mr. Dan. It is Facebook/Jinzo slash. That is my Facebook. I will go ahead and I'll get that to you. So if you want to send me a friend request, I will definitely accept it, and then I'm ready to ride into the old west. Um, and speaking of the old west, man, super psyched. Caught this on my Facebook page yesterday. So last year, and our good friends Joe Cornette and Alexander Nevsky, they released a film called The Wide West. Um, I had them come on to the show. Also, Tatiana Neva. You got it, Dan? I'm going to go ahead and take off my link. Um, so so last year they came out The Wide West. Um, it was based off a true story about a samurai wrestler that came over to the United States and became friends with President Roosevelt. So so their story had two samurai, or not samurai, but sumo wrestlers, um, get stranded in a small western town, and so and then shenanigans happen. Um, it, it, First of all, I have to say this right off the bat. The costuming for that picture, when you go watch that movie and the costumes in that picture, freaking amazing. Just I would put that I would put up the wardrobe against any period piece that you would see on Bridgerton or Downton Abbey or Pride and Prejudice. The wardrobe is just freaking fantastic. Um, the movie uh, the movie's very fun. It's a very fun movie. I love the ending of it. It's a hoot. That's right, sumo shenanigans. Uh, that let's see. Oh, and okay. Miss Jeff just finished Magnificent Seventh Ride. So last year they released this movie, The Wide West, and I reviewed it. I interviewed Joe and Tatiana and Alexander. So I caught this picture yesterday. That movie is still making waves. It's still doing very, very well. Um, it's incredible. It's a little engine that could. It's an independent picture, and it was but it was fun, and very authentic, very authentic. Um, and and I also should mention that uh, 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 that as far as the film goes, I mean, they used the sumo techniques that they used in the movie, exactly what they do. They didn't do anything for Hollywood. It was exactly what they did. And the two stars of that movie, this is the part that boggles my mind. This is so much fun. So the two sumo wrestlers that wrestled, right, in a small independent picture, probably less than $1 million, like probably less than that. They come, they fly in to do this movie. They fly in from John Wick 3. They fly in from John Wick 3 to do this movie. How crazy is that? That's probably one of my favorite trivia aspects of the Wide West. But Alexander posted some new pictures up on his Facebook page with the two guys. He says he looks tiny next to them. Not that tiny. The guy is still Mr. Universe, right? Three times, and he's still a beast. I think he rolls in at 265, maybe a little bit bigger, but he's massive. And he says, "Yeah, I look really tiny compared to these guys." I'm like, I think you could hold your own." Um, so yeah, that was a lot of fun seeing that. I'm sort of bummed out that they're gonna hear me say this and they're gonna go like, "What do you mean?" I'm just I'm extremely happy for him. This movie's out there making money, exposing a new to fans to a new type of western, new western stars and whatnot. But I'm sort of like getting antsy for the third installment of the Rio Bravo series that Joe and Alexander started. I really sort of get anxious because I was hoping that they would be starting to think about filming it in the springtime. I've covered both those movies as well with those two, and terrific films. Um, we had Matthias Hughes as the main bad guy. He was really good bad guy, and yeah, Don the Dragon Wilson in the series. Cynthia Rothrock. Jeff, I know your ears will perk up at this. Um, Cynthia Rothrock, she got inspired to do Black Creek from working with Joe and Alexander. She saw that the picture could be made and done really well, and she got inspired. She did a cameo in Taken from Rio Bravo, and and it was awesome because you can see it was sort of like an experimental thing because like I know in the Black Creek, I know she's fighting in that. I think they wanted to find out when they cast her in this film, I think they really wanted to find out if she could actually still do her martial art movies, her martial art moves while wearing a Western gear. And I could tell you that yes, she can. She can scorpion kick wearing a dress down to her feet. So if you have any doubt, if you still doubt Cynthia Rothrock's abilities, don't. She can still do a scorpion kick with a old fashioned Western dress on. Um, yeah, I can't wait for and I can't wait for to hook up with Mr. Dan here. We're gonna be taking a look at some episodes of Have Gun Will Travel. Um, I can't wait for that. Yeah, she's amazing, Danny, isn't she? Now, I got a question for you, Danny. So I'm having a death match wrestler on the show tomorrow on Eight Questions with. Have you ever wrestled in a death match? In a death match? Because I know you're a professional wrestler too. Has she? Have you ever been in a hardcore or death match yet? She can fight in high heels, no problem either. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Oh, all right. Oh, okay. Because I'm yeah I'm interviewing Madman Pondo. He's going to be over here tomorrow night. I've never heard of a death match. I mean, I heard of hardcore wrestling, but like ECW, but I never heard of death match until Eric showed me. He won the Thrash Wrestling 2022 Super Evil Bloody Hell Death Match tournament. Holy shit! Wow. Let's see, Apros of Black Creek. I got that on Blu-ray now too. It will show my next monthly collection update. Oh, that's right. You were waiting for that. I remember that, Jeff. Um, and Danny, you seen some of his matches? Yeah, I did not know you were a death match wrestler. That's crazy. I thought you were just no. I just didn't know. I thought you were just a traditional wrestler, Danny. I didn't know you were hardcore and death match. Holy shit. That's awesome, man. Um, yeah, he's done some very crazy. They all do. You guys all do. Deathmatch wrestlers they're just they're a whole different breed. I mean, while I'm thinking I'm watching ECW and I'm watching that and I'm going like, oh my god, these guys are absolutely nuts. And then I watch a deathmatch wrestle, and then I come back and go look at ECW again. I'm going like, these guys are sort of wimpy. Hey, Steven, how are you? How are you? So what we're doing here, we're doing a push video for our good friend Al Lucard. Let me go ahead and flash some. We're also doing Mr. Dan and Horror. So what I'm asking if people could do is shout these folks out. Um, if you can, that would be amazing. Um, so here's Mr. Dan's address. Some of you guys are if you haven't, if you already have, subscribe to Mr. Dan. That's awesome. What we're trying to do is try to see if we can get people to share it out. And then we got Al Lucard as well. And we're trying to get him passed up to 1900. He stuck at 1898. So I feel good about this. That if I don't get it, if we don't get it here, if we don't get Al there today, um, and we still haven't, we he's still stuck at 1898. Um, but even if we can at least and then we got then we got Al Lucard right here. So what I'm saying is too is like if you even if you sub to them, which I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat has. What I'm just asking is like maybe next time you guys do a live stream, or you do like if you do like a horror movie, like something to do with vampires or bats or something like that, or if you do a Bigfoot, to shout out Mr. Dan and shout out Al Lucard. See if we can get them crossed over into the goals we're trying to reach. Hey Russell, how are you? How are you, sir? How glad you guys are here. We're back at it. Yeah, I know, Danny. I yeah, I you know what, but I also know too that you and Haley have been shouting out channels recently, and I'm just wondering maybe we could throw up a shout out for these two as well, to because you guys have a lot of fresh faces over in your streams, and I'm really glad you guys are back on Sundays too. By the way, I know you guys been doing some live streaming on Sundays. I really missed you guys, and all of us have missed you guys. Um, and guys are still getting it. I know you guys are still working on getting a regular schedule going. Well, you probably already have a regular schedule going, but it's probably YouTube not letting any of us know about it. And of course, would be totally remiss to not mention with Danny with Addicted to Horror, Addicted Horror Addicts TV, that he and Gory B Movie, his wife, they do the Oscars every year. So they will come to people and tap them on the shoulder and ask them to be part of the Oscars. They film a little segment and then they send it in there and they do the show, and it's a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. Um, I think the lack of my tech ability has hurt me the last couple of years with the Oscars and the rubber duckies. I'm just not I'm just not that really proficient with it. But I had so much fun doing it the first time. I did it with Monty G and the horror miser Monty G, and we had a blast. Uh, yeah, that's awesome. This is your 11th year, and I think this is going to be the Rubber Duckies. I think it's going to be their 4th year. You've had a lot of celebrities on your live streams as well. I know the one that I was with. You had Diana Prince from Joe Bob. She did a segment. That was awesome. So I know that will be I know that'll be coming up really soon. Man, actually, there's a couple other things just to mention too. So not only do the Oscars are coming up, and I know this is going to seem a little bit far in advance, but it really isn't. Not really, because we're already rolling into February. But I do definitely want to give a shout out to our good friends Tom and Tim Gross from Gross Fest Comic Con or Horror Con. They put out the best convention in the country, as far as I'm concerned. Um, if you're an independent horror fan, uh, this is the con you want to go to. $10 a head, or $10. Actually, I think $10 for the both days. Super, good parking. A lot of great tables, a lot of fun guests, a lot of fun guests. Like I said, the best bang for your buck for sure. Gross Fest. Um, Man, I've been talking to a couple of other people about conventions, and man, I think there's convention fatigue is happening, based on what I've seen. Um, you get to interview her. My channel is going to be 5 years old in July. 5 years. Let's see. Yeah, that would be awesome. You interviewed her and Joe Bob at Seattle Scripticon last May. I don't know. I wonder if people are, because now that Derry is Welcome to Derry is here. I wonder if people realize that Joe Bob Briggs actually appeared in the original Stand. He played a police officer in that film, a sheriff or a cop, but he was in the movie, the original miniseries to Stand. I didn't know that, and I also didn't know that Kathy Bates was too. She did an uncredited cameo, um, and played a radio DJ that was. Oh wow! So Monty G is supposed to be coming up to join us at Seattle Crypticon. That'd be awesome. That's actually really fun too. I guess that's probably the last true. It's probably the last true fun thing for conventions is the fact that you can meet your friends from social media. I see more. I see a lot of videos about that. Like meeting people and going out for lunch or a meal or just to hang out. Um, See, Joe Bob's also be Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, but his scene was cut sadly. Yeah, that sort of sucks. Well, if not in this life, definitely the next one, Danny, for sure. You know what it is? You know what it is, Tom? I mean, the conventions, we were talking about this the other day, and part of it is it's for one thing, the prices are just beyond belief, right? Um, you know, they're just Danny, you can throw down on this as well. So I always thought that after the pandemic ended, when everybody getting back to normal, I always thought that it would be best for the conventions because they wanted to come back. But I thought it would have been best for them to come back bare bones, like get with a talent, say tell a talent, listen, normally we pay you a couple $1,000s to come out here for this convention. But this year, what we're trying to do, we're trying to lower our prices, right? We're going to try to lower our prices. We're going to make it more family friendly for pricing. So what we're doing we're asking people for this year only, is to cut your rate a little bit. Instead of having $2,000 appearance fee, maybe you could do it for 1,400. Maybe you could do it for or 1,300, and just to get the good feeling back. Just to get it back into the convention hall. And it seemed like that happened for the first year. People were starting to come back, they're, trying to get back to normal. But it seemed like after that first year of the conventions, of being family friendly, price friendly, the celebrities weren't asking arm and a leg for, they weren't asking Stan Lee stupid prices. Um, it just, as soon as that first year was over, everybody put their pedal to the metal to the pedal, to the floor. And now every convention now is just extremely expensive to go to. Just to go there, to park, the food, the to go in there and meet the celebrities. And a lot of people are complaining of the fact too that a lot of the guests that they see at these conventions, and this is something I noticed after 3 conventions. I've been to 6. The one thing I noticed after my first 3 conventions here in Michigan was the faces are always the same. Yes, you might have your big shots, the 8 or 12 big names, but everything underneath that, same faces every year, same table, same pushing the same shit they pushed the last year. Um, and I think that it seemed like this year that people started noticing that, like, yeah, that's that's Kane Hodder. Wasn't he here last year and the year before that and the year before that? And I think that for people, it's like it's not so much that they don't resent the fact that Kane Hodder's there. I think they resent the fact that they paid $30 this year, $35 this year, $45 that year, and yet you're seeing the same level of talent. And I think people just get tired of, or they're tired of paying those high prices, and they don't feel they get the bang back for their buck. Let's see. Tom says we had Festival de Fantastique in Brussels, but since COVID, it's a thing of the past. Um, sad. Last guest was David Cronenberg in 2019. Danny says that he's been going to Crypticon um, since 2009, and no one charges over $20. Yeah, that's a really good. Whoever's running Crypticon then is a strong promoter. Um, been a panelist interviewee since 2015 when we started Horror Addicts, and prices just keep going up and up. Um, yeah, it's ridiculous. COVID destroyed a lot of fun things. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. You know what though? That's the part. That's the part that gets me. And it's the price is going high, and a lot of that too. I know a lot of heat goes on the talent for the prices, but how it works, I've explained this before, but I'll do it again. Um, so a lot of times a promoter runs a convention, or it's just like a concert, same thing. And what it is like they'll have like for like a concert, they'll have like the big band, and then the main support band, and then they have an opening band. A lot of times it's a local band. Okay, so the local band gets on a big stage with the national act, um, and then they get to act like for a night they're on that level, right? Because they're playing on the same bill. Well, most of the time, whenever you have a big major band come in, they sell a lot of merchandise. Okay, think of going to a convention, and the merchandise is what the talent is selling. The photo opportunities, the autographs, the movies, what have you. Uh, and you notice that the prices, like for like a big star, they're selling their autograph for $60 or $70. Some promoters, uh, and some talent too. I can't dismiss it all. Um, but sometimes what they'll do is they'll turn around and tell the promoter that nobody can undercut their prices in their contract. I'll have it. This is my prices shall not be undercut. So let's say you're sitting next to a list actor, and he's selling his picture for $80. The actor next to him, who might have been a walk on a Fear the Walking Dead, or movie like that, really just an up and comer, or someone who's a character actor or whatnot, he is not allowed to sell his picture for $30. Like I can go ahead and I can charge $25 for my picture, and you could get two or three of me for that, other than what he's charging you for one. So a lot of promoters, they're locked into that. Same thing with us when we did live music. They would come up and said, band would sit there and say, "Yeah, we're going to charge $40 for a T-shirt." Okay, yeah, you can get it. You can get your T-shirt for $40 because you're a national act. You're famous. You're well taken care of. Yeah. But what about the local band? Here they are. Most of the time they sell their T-shirts for $10, and they sell a few every show. Well, now for that night, they can't. They can't sell their T-shirts for $10. Um, and for some promoters, some bands they don't even bother unpacking. But I was very happy to tell you that we weren't like that at the Edge. We didn't do that bullshit. We didn't allow that to happen. We took care of our local bands. Um, and we told the road manager, many a band, like, hey man, those guys they're gonna bump up their price. No, they don't. No, no. And the thing is though, is that more at the end of the show, we would get our 35%. But if these guys were cool about this shit, if they were cool about it, if they didn't bust chops, well, we have to make these guys. It's in our contract. If the road manager and road managers were pretty damn savvy, they would come up there and say, "No, we don't want to pay the local. We don't want to make the local bands pay that kind of money." All right, that's cool. We get it. We get it. We understand it. At the end of the night, instead of expecting 35% coming out of their take, wow, we're only charging you 20 or 15%. Why? Because you showed compassion to the local guys, you know, and we're not about that. Um, we're not about taking away everybody's a chance to make money. So no, it's cool. We're good. But of course, the ones that were assholes, and there were, Richie Blackmore, um, yeah, we charge 35%. Oh, can't you do a little lower? We got that. We got the road manager coming up there going like, they can't sell their shit for $10. At the end of the night, 35%. Well, can't you do a little lower? Wait a minute, you just got done using your contract as the reason why the local guys have to can't sell their shit for $10. Now you're going to come up there and ask us to do a little lower? No, guess what? We're doing it by the contract, motherfucker, because that's what you wanted. That's what you brought up. So yeah, but I think convention fatigue is a real thing. I don't think the numbers were there last year. I heard a lot of people that went to conventions talk about that. Like, the lines were much smaller than usual. There wasn't that many people as usual. I think it's going to be worse this year. I think especially now the way that they're using ICE or the Gestapo, people aren't going to go out to public events anymore. So we've already starting to see that. We've already starting to see this. If you see so many restaurants are closing, coffee shops are closing. Small businesses are all closing because some of the people that shop their places, they're afraid to go there because they don't want to get snatched up off the street. So they don't go. They don't go now to these places. Uh, and of course, it hurts the economy. Yeah, and all those people, think about it. Think about those people have to. Let's see. Danny mentions that. Yeah, we also get Elvira's Coricon in October, and they get big names, but I don't think they're making their money back. So I don't think that will last. Yeah, and there is a lot. I have to say this. I've seen some shadiness. I've seen some shady convention promoters. Um, there was one in California I remember really, really well because he burned a friend of mine who was making an appearance there. And she went there and got nothing. No bed, no hotel room, no meals, no nothing. No they were supposed to pay they were supposed to pay her upfront when she got to the convention. And they didn't do that either. Um and it was really bad. The only saving grace was she didn't live that far away, so she was able to go home. Relatively, but still, it took up of her time, and yeah, it's conventions. I mean, I understand, I understand the conventions. How it costs money. It does cost money for sure. But this is another thing where you go to the owner of the building, you sit there and say, listen, we want to work with you. You want to work with us. We bring a good crowd. We bring you a ton of publicity. Whatever we do here, you get the ripple effect of that. So, like the first couple of years back, we like to set a firm price. So we don't want to gouge anybody. And it's up to the convention owners too, the buildings to be smart about it. Like, okay, I could be hard headed and insist that you pay me $30,000 per day for the building, and then lose that convention when they can't do it, and then now you have a hole in your calendar, and again, it's no longer guaranteed. There's no longer a guarantee that like fuck it, if you guys don't want to play ball, I'll get somebody else. Not so fast anymore. No, it doesn't happen like that anymore. No, no, I've been out there once already, Jim, for sure. I went out at 9 o'clock. It is snowing like dogs and cats out there, and the snow is very heavy. So I did go out there and snow, and then I'm waiting till the snow ends, and then I'm going to go back out there. I have to do it today because the temperature is going to be dropping to like minus degrees. They're expecting minus 10 to 20 degrees wind chill factor this weekend. So you either get out there and shovel it now when you get a chance, or you're not going to. So I got to try. See, down my street, there's a small casino. It's a scam. The owner drives a new Ferrari. Enough said. Yeah. Oh, any casinos, There's just casinos are. I don't understand people going to casinos. I truly don't understand that. Um, my wife and I, we went down to Detroit's casinos, and we each take $20. That was it. That was our bankroll was $20. And we would go down there and spend our $20, and then get something to eat, and and walk around. And the first time I did it, it was okay. It was like but I love my wife liked doing it, and so we go down there, and then what I would do is I just give her my $20. I just said, "Here, take my money," because I want to people watch. A casino is an interesting place for people watching. Oh my gosh, it is. It is night and day. When you see all those advertisements on the casinos that everybody's a motherfucking winner. But the reality is, you go to a casino, you sit there and watch, and you see people are like, you know, the only thing missing from them is a rope around their neck and to a brick, because they're in so far they're in such trouble. Um, hell yeah, back then, yeah, uh, hell yeah, you're right. Um, Yesterday's haul I had, that was only it would have been a lot less, but I did pay a little bit more for yesterday's haul. I did pay $3 for a steel book. I know, outrageous, right? What are they doing charging me that much? So I did pay $3 for a steel book, but I ended up paying 250 for the rest of my haul. So it was 550 yesterday. And you guys, if you guys saw my video for my library haul yesterday, you saw I got my money's worth. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. like your dignity and your financial security and your willingness to live. Yeah, yeah, casinos are not anybody's friends. And man, Vegas today is just vastly different. The Vegas today has nothing to do with of yesteryear. Um, I've been to the Rio. I went to the Rio, and it wasn't that old. It was absolutely spectacular. Went to the Rio. Place was filled with people, lights, glamour. The food was off the chain and affordable Oh, I think you had to pay like $20 for a buffet. And the food was unbelievable. But now you type in the Rio, I don't even think it's open anymore. I think that thing's gone. All the old casinos, all the old Vegas, I think they're all just dying out. Um, yeah, that's right. Get me Danny Ocean, and the real Danny Ocean, not that other guy. Give me Frank Sinatra. Yeah, it's the same thing, isn't it? See, I sold my house to gamble. Yes, man. Every time there's a casino that goes in place, and the funny thing is, though, and you hear this over and over and over, and the public's it's so gullible. It's like, we're gonna open a casino. Okay. So you do know one of the first things that happens as a byproduct of the casino is your burglary and robbery rates will go skyrocketing, right? You know that. It's around here it's around here in Detroit, in Metro Detroit. There are so many people that they bust and they sit there and say, "Well, why'd you do it?" Um, because I have a gambling problem. People embezzling from their place of business. Why'd you do it? Gambling. Just absolutely, it's despicable. Um, thanks, Jim. I will be on my best behavior. Um, so hopefully we can share this out a little bit more. Thank you to the guys that have done this. Um, we're trying to get Alucard up to 1900. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. How hard could it be to get 2 subs? This let's see. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Let's see. And then we're gonna try to get Mr. Dan up to we'll try to get Mr. Dan up to 1,000. We'll try to push that. Um, it probably would help me if I did this a little bit more than I do, right? Like I did one last week. It worked. Um, doing push videos like this is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And of course, and Sean and Kenny, they'll be back next Tuesday. Um, they'll be back next Tuesday, and they're going to be talking about the movies of John Candy, um, which is always a good topic to see. I mean, it's always good to see him. So nice to see people talk about John Candy. That's one guy whose name is always being mentioned somewhere. You know, it's not like you like John Who. It's John Candy, and everybody has their favorite movies or favorite moments with him. He really was beloved. He really was, and he was trying to change his life around, making a lot. He's trying to make better choices in his life. He was trying, um, and I just don't. I know a lot of people like Chris Farley too, but Chris Farley frustrates me because Chris Farley, he did that to himself. He did it to himself, and he continued to do it to himself. I mean, he had people he could look up to, and his comedy idols, John Belushi, I think one of them was. And it's like, wow, that's your idol? Okay. Well, I don't know about you, but I do know one thing. I know I don't want to go out like he did. Um, and it's sort of frustrating that way. But John Candy, his whole movie, he watched his journey. He was changing his life around. Um, the movies he was making were getting better and better. I mean, they were really getting better and better. Um, he was moving into that Robin Williams spear, you know. Um, his daughter Jen Candy had a show where she interviewed a lot of the old SCTV cast. She was really good at it. Um, yeah, I'd like to see that. I think that came out last year, if I'm not mistaken. But he was on his way to the next level. Um, Cocaine, casino, money laundry. Yeah, God, you guys are getting hit with all sorts of drugs now, aren't you, Tom? In Europe, fuck me. They send divers down on those freighters. The cartels they send divers down and secure the drugs in the bottom of the damn boat. I don't know how they do that. How the hell do you? I guess they must drill them in or something like that. No. Um, but I definitely think that John Canley was definitely moving into Robert Williams territory, um, which is always fun to see. To see a really good comedic actor who's been known for broad comedy, and then they transition over to drama, um, like Steve Carell. Steve Carell's one like that for me. He's really funny, but he could do the drama as well. I one of the favorite movies I have of his is Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. Man, I don't know what I was expecting when I saw that movie. One thing, I didn't think the world was going to end. I didn't think it was going to end. I thought, okay, this is going to be a catchy title, and then everything's going to be all right. But no, they established that no, the world's going to end, and then this we're going to follow Dodge for his last 2 weeks, and just a great movie, one of my very favorites. And Keira Knightley was really good in it, and Martin Sheen, just a terrific movie. Let's see, rest in peace, Candy Williams. The world used to be a much funnier place. It really did. It really did. What would they find where would they find you 375 euros for? Yeah. I tell you the movie that I watch with Robert Williams again, because I really like watching Al Pacino. Um, I The one movie I still cannot watch. Um, I still can't watch it. I have it, but I still can't watch it because it just absolutely ruins me. What dreams may come. Yeah, I can't watch that movie. I just can't do it. Just I still got a few core movies that I just can't watch. Um, that was just that's an extraordinary. I've seen the movie before, but before I lost my wife, I have not seen it since then. Um, I remember watching Robin Williams' first movie, and I remember watching The World According to Garp, and I was watching it with a bunch of dudes who were watching it, and at the end of the movie, if you've seen the movie, you know what happens, and there's four teenagers watching it, and we're all crying. We're all asking like, "Did he live? Did he live?" We're asking each other. We watch the same movie, and we're going like, "Do you think he lived? Do you think he lived?" Oh my god, not having your oh my gosh, you get fined for that? Wow. Well, you know what? Wow, I don't I Mazers, Mr. Mike Hunt in the house, Interweb Kaiju. Hey, Casey, I got a Japanese fan that came over and left a comment on my review of Gamera and Gaius. I'm so tickled with I'm so proud of that. I'm like, wow, a Japanese fan came over and said, actually, I actually did something pretty good. He actually listened, he actually watched and listened to it. I was like, hell yeah. That's the first for me. Oh, Bigfoot, yeah. Boglins, Boglins and Bigfoot. As you notice, you'll see on the title here, it says Scream 7, just to let people know that there would not be Scream 7 talk here today. We just put that up there to lure the people in. Now, Bigfoot, on the other hand, uh, so so Bigfoot. I went on a stream, Casey. I went on a live stream and for Movies and Beyond, and they were doing horror icon battles. You know, putting names on the wheel and then spinning it. And so we were able to donate, you know, to nominate one villain. So I nominated Bigfoot, and then Bigfoot got drawn to fight Dexter Morgan. Um, he Dexter Morgan from the show Dexter. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Well, that was who our Bigfoot was supposed to fight, and Bigfoot lost. So we're demanding a rematch because there's no way in hell that Bigfoot's losing to Dexter Morgan. So we're gonna be campaigning for a rematch of Bigfoot and Dexter. What's the what? Yeah, you know what's funny? I just read this too. It was really strange. Um, one of speaking of Robin Williams, because I think of Goodwill Hunting here, but I guess Steven Spielberg never wanted to. I guess an incident happened at this party where Steven Spielberg's little boy was swimming, and Ben Affleck got to this little party, and Spielberg's son um, pushed him in the water. I mean, Ben was fully clothed, and he pushed him in the water. Yeah, not probably a shiny moment, but I guess he got out of the water and grabbed his son and threw him in the water, and not so nicely. And after that, Spielberg said, "Yeah, I'm not working with him anymore. I'm not working with him at all." And there was a couple of times where they went to Spielberg and they say, and he showed interest in a movie, and then they would tell him the cast, and they mentioned Ben Affleck, and then Steven Spielberg would say, "Nope," says, "Don't want to work with him." So he would either leave the project, or they recast. Um, yeah, I didn't. They made up about it. I mean, they end up talking about it, but I was thinking how crazy that is. You miss a chance to work with a all-time best director because you got your temper because you got a little wet. Hey, Dominic, how are you, sir? Hey, Tony the Tiger. And I know it's snowing in New York too, right? All right. Well, let me see. Let me see what happens with. I wonder if Mr. Dan got anybody. Nope. Ah, cannot believe this. Unbelievable. Okay. Let's see if we got Mr. Dan. Anybody? I mean, at least we got somebody. Okay, well, you know what? I'm all right with that. We got one. We got one for Mr. Dan. So that's awesome. Yeah, I can understand it. Maybe the kid was 13 or 14. Who knows? They didn't say how old he was. And no, it's not the good look. But at the same time, you get out of there and you grab a kid and you throw him in the water like that. It's like wow. It's like it's not good, but it's like sort of like well, yeah, hopefully we can get you a couple more here. We'll stay up here for a few more minutes, see if we can get you a couple more. And to the ones who did subscribe, remember you gotta leave a comment on somebody's channel, otherwise it won't stay. It won't stay. So when you sub to a channel, drop by and leave a comment behind. As for me, it is 2 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up at 2. Get a chance for me to have a lunch. I got to go out there and see the snow situation because I know I definitely have to go out there and shovel. And I normally like to shovel at night. Believe it or not, I like to shovel it at night because it's so peaceful. But I don't really can't do that today because it's going to get super cold starting tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'll be firing up my car to let my car run while I'm shoveling the snow because um yeah, you don't want to have a dead battery on a weather like this, and it will be very easy for that to happen. So we'll get out there, and hell, I might even take a quick run out to might go grab something to eat. Uh but yeah, you heard that then, right, Danny? You heard that story? Yeah, that's what I thought too. Isn't that crazy? All those years wasted. And I'm sure he's sitting there going like, "Man, I really love to work with Spielberg," and Spielberg's probably going like, "This part would actually be good for Ben Affleck." But then, he sees his temper, and he says, "No, I'm not going to work with somebody like that." I mean, the least you could do is if it happens, you get out, you get dry it off, and then you mention it to him. Hey, your son pushed me in the pool. That wasn't very cool. I got dressed up for this party, and this has happened. Not very fun for me. And damn well Spielberg would have dealt with it right there on the spot. His kid probably would have been in the back seat of the car. Um, or Steven Spielberg probably would have borrowed a bathroom for a minute, um, and it would have been dealt with. But instead, you lose the professional, what could have been great teamwork. Yeah, that's crazy. Sometimes at those parties, man. Sometimes they have a lot of people in there that really watch and observe what goes on. I had never really done that to a party. If I go and have a good time. But man, some of these, like I was reading a story about Meghan Markle and her husband Prince Harry, and was it Harry or Andrew, whatever, which one it was. So they go to the birthday party of Kris Jenner. They go there, and man, they were like they got an invite, but nobody there really was, they didn't, I don't think they expected her to show up. And when she did, the observer commented how everybody just froze her out. They didn't have really anything to do with her. I mean, she was there, but nobody walked over and was making being a pal to her. And and I guess she must have really pissed off Adele because Adele just had nothing to do with her. Even though she approached her like 3 different times to say hello, and all 3 times Adele just ignored her. I'm just like, man, Hollywood is a bitch. Yeah, it would have been a better look, right? And maybe paid for his dry cleaning. If he needed a dry cleaning bill afterwards, and maybe if his shoes, at least make a monetary gesture toward that. Let me go ahead and get you a new pair of shoes, or whatever your clothes were worth. I can take care of it for you. I'm really sorry about that. Um, you know, but Spielberg would have did that. That's exactly the thing is, if he hadn't have done that, if he just had gone to Spielberg, Spielberg would have just easily taken care of that way. He's always been a man of class. I have never read a bad story about Steven Spielberg. Not one time have I ever read about a story about him being an asshole on set. And that's damn rare, really rare. Because everybody, I mean, I'm not saying he's perfect by any means, but he's never been Miss Perfect in any sort of setting. I mean, you don't ever see people ever coming up there and saying, yeah, he was messing with me or messing with my kids or something like that. He's always been a very honorable man. Yeah, I think honestly, I think so too. As far as the truly major directors go, um, I've never heard anything bad said about him. He's always been a straight up professional. God, it's weird. It's so weird when you see that he's 79 years old, and I just think, wow, back in the day, he was so young. He was considered so young when he did Jaws, and this young Steven Spielberg, next thing you know, it's just like 79, and it's like, wow, where'd the time go? Says when the world freaked out a couple years ago about Josh Whedon being an asshole, I was like, doesn't surprise me, but aren't most directors? Yeah, some are. I think more motion picture, more feature film directors, because the pressure is much greater there, as far as being assholes than television directors. Television directors, you never hear anything bad about them. Not really. I mean, I know Josh Whedon did. Yeah, I know he caught heat, but yes, Tom, absolutely. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick was a monster. He was a monster. 147 for Shelley Duvall. 147. Yeah, except for the actresses, Danny. He always had affection toward the actresses. Um, in fact, he would always try to be a little too friendly to them. Uh, Teppy Hendren and Janet Leigh both commented on that. It's like he would fall in love with the leading lady of every one of his movies. Sort of like Tom Cruise, except that we know that Alfred Hitchcock really did like the girls. But But every time Tom Cruise comes out with a movie, he's always come out with a hot starlet on his arm, and it's just like, I don't know who you think you're fooling here, because he ain't fooling nobody. We all know what it is. We know it's a showmance. Michael Winner takes the cake for the worst treatment actresses. He was horrible on set. Yes, wasn't he the one that insisted that he directed Death? Didn't he do a, a Death Watch movie, Death Wish movie? He made Myrna Sirtis go topless in it, even though she was completely she was completely against it. Yeah, Weldon. Yeah, Weldon. Everybody said that not to leave Amy Trachtenberg with him by himself. Yeah, and now that thing with Timothy Busfield that just came to light. I think the only problem I have with some of this stuff though is like, I don't know. To me, I don't know. Maybe I'm cynical about this, but to me, it's like, I was always taught that when something happens, you speak up, right? Like, you see something bad, you speak up. You see something good, you speak up when you see it. I just have a hard time with people coming up 30 years and then speaking up. It's like, wow, that's really a long time to hold that in, right? I mean, 30 years, and and it's just sort of scary, like, in the fact that there's nothing you could do. I mean, you could accuse somebody of that right now, and possibly face trouble. Yes. Okay. I thought I remembered that, Jeff. I remember her telling that story, and that she was and they did like, I think they did multi takes on it, like four or five. And she commented it was her worst experience she ever had in her career. What's going on, Nate? Yeah, that was terrible. What time do you start your show, Jeff? I know you're going to do a premiere at 3, but are you going live to do the 13 ranking of the 13 movies, or is that included in your premiere? Yeah, isn't that bullshit? Isn't that bullshit? I just, it makes me frustrated when I hear that. Well, I'm going to be talking about one movie pretty soon on Dollar Theater. I've already mentioned it before. I mentioned it. I'm doing a grade Z movie. I'm watching a grade Z movie. I'm glad Danny's here too, because maybe Danny can chip in on this. So I'm going to be commenting and watching and commenting on a movie called Wasilla. And this movie looked like it could have been made for the price of a can of cat food. Just absolutely horrible. Just you know horrible. Um, but it seems like a lot of these indie directors, they go out there and they grab these young stars, young actresses, and put them in these god awful movies and make them do nudity. Um, maybe because they have maybe they work as a sex worker. There's a few actresses that walk in both worlds, popular actresses that walk in both worlds. Um, but it's like all these guys come up with an idea, no script, no nothing, no effects that I've seen better on an Atari 2600, um, and then they make them go nude. Um, and I was commenting the other day how I was really sort of I didn't know that the movie had been made like 4 years ago because I just saw it, but I was really surprised with Donald Farmer's movie called Debbie Does Demons. I don't know if 4 years is like an excuse to be honest with you. Um, but in that movie, I because I wanted to see it because I had Jessa Jupiter Flux, and I also had uh, Morgan Malam Thompson, and so I wanted to see it, so I put it on Tubi, and I'm trying to think of the movie. It's like I think it's called Not Another Teen Movie, and it had Shannon Elizabeth. No, not Shannon. Maybe it was her. Well, they had. Oh no, it was Serena Vincent. They pretty much had Serena Vincent. Her whole role in the movie was her appearing topless or nude in the whole movie, right? Topless. That was her role. Was her going the whole movie? She was topless. It was a stereotype. And well, anyway, they had Jessa do this movie, and she's like nude in this movie like 90% of the time. 90%. And it's just like, what is the point in that? Why are you doing that as a director? If you have to rely on that to move your story forward, well, come on. And Donald Farmer's a much better director than that. He might not have the money for his movies, but he's a better director than that. And I was really surprised to see that. I was disappointed, to tell you the truth, that he allowed that to happen. Yes, she is in Wasilla, and yes, she has a lot of nudity in that picture, but it's garbage, Danny. The movie is garbage. She shouldn't have been. That's all I had going for it was that and Angel. It was just horseshit, and it hurts the actresses. It hurts them because now it's like, okay, well, I got her. He got her for like a what. She didn't get paid for that shit. Damn well she didn't get paid for it. It's just garbage. That's the exploitation for all the wrong reasons. No, it's horrible. It's horrible. And I'm calling the guy out who made it. I can't wait for me to get to it. I don't rant very much on here. I really don't. I mean, as far as the movies go, but man, when I watched that, um, I was like, I was angry because it's like, look, I understand a little nudity for the sake of the movie, right? For a little bit, but even then, right? I mean, come on, do you really need to show your actresses like that? Especially the young ones that are just trying to make a name in the business. I mean, same thing with Marina. She wasn't a big star that when she did Death Wish 3. I mean, he certainly wouldn't ask her, after she got on Star Trek. Do you think that he could get away with asking her to do a topless scene again after her success? Fuck no. She'd kick him in the sack. So that's the way I look at it with Morgan. Her and Angel are really good. They're really good actresses too. That's the thing. They're just not out there and they don't know their lines or just making shit up. You go back and you watch their performances, you can see that there's a lot of talent with those two ladies. They can actually act, but they have never gotten a project that's been worthy of their talent. But when you keep doing bullshit like Wazilla, you don't get it because all people see you is as that. And that's what really sucks. I agree, Danny. God damn it, I do. It's like watching a band for me. Like, sitting there, I'm watching bands, I hear them play, and I can sit there and tell you, like, I could tell you a band that was gonna make it and a band that wasn't gonna make it. I could do that. That's the reason I got my job at the Edge. I worked in the business for 10 years. It was because of my ear. Same thing for watching actors. Man, you just know when there's something really good there. You just know. And I feel that with Morgan. I think that if she got a director that, like Gabriella East Westwood, another great actress, and has a director that knows how to use her, right? Cast her in some really good movies. He takes good care of her, and shout out to Michael Cassie. But he knows how to use his actresses right, right? But someone like Wasilla, like I said, got made for a can of cat food, and then to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, well I don't have anything really to put on the camera, so yeah, show us your tits." Frustrating, frustrating. It's just like if they just could find like an Angel Bradford. That girl is supremely talented. Not only can she act, but she also does special effects makeup as well, and she's really good at it. She can come in there, save your ass with a good actor as a being a good actress, and in a pinch, if you need someone to help out on special effects, she can go over there and do that too. What director would not treat her like fucking gold? You got a multi, and especially on the indie on the in the indie movie circuit. Man, it just blows my mind. See now, Tom. So see now, I'm ranting. I'm I'm ranting now. All right. All right. Well, let me get out of here. Um, for sure. Does she? Nice. I did not know that about Lady Sasha. I guess I need to have her come back and talk about that. And if you guys do want to visit my channel, if you hit the playlist Clash of the Titans, um, you'll see me and Danny have a Clash of the Titans. Horror Addicts TV, him and I have a Clash of the Titans. Uh, we did Daredevil 2003 against the Crow. Uh, Absolutely phenomenal show. One of my favorites. And if you guys want to check out, and also have that's right. Thank you. Orange Cat are best. Um, that's right. I had to replace my old dude vampire with Orange Cat's rule. And But I do have a video of me and Danny doing Clash of the Titans, and I had a blast doing it. And thank you guys all for your support. And oh no, good, Tom, good. I'm glad we were able to do that for you. For sure. Head on over to Jeff 101 Bronson's channel at 3 o'clock. I'll be there. Me and the cheater will be there at 3 o'clock. He will be doing his unboxing of The Great Silence. So go on over there at 3, drop a like, uh, drop a comment, and yeah, and we will see you in about 50 minutes. Thanks for watching. And tomorrow night, Mad Pondo, 8 o'clock Eastern time. If you're not doing anything tomorrow night, come by, say hi. Hey, everybody. Talk to you soon. Peace.